So with the thread tension on 0, the thread should pull through the needle with no problem at all. With the presser foot in the up position, the thread should pull through the needle with no trouble at all. With the presser foot down and your thread tension is set on 4 or 5, when you pull the thread to the side, the needle should flex 3-4 mil. Now that needle is a size 12. The thread that I'm using is a standard Gutterman polyester, and the needle is flexing 3 or 4 millimeters to the left with the thread tension set on 4. So that's what you're looking for. If the needle isn't flexing at all as you pull the thread through, you've got a problem with the tensioner and you need to look at that. Another way of checking it, if you wanted to be really accurate, would be to thread the machine up, down through the tensioner, down and around. At this point, put the presser foot down, and then you could use a spring balance on the end of the thread, and when you pull up on the thread, you should achieve about 80 grams on the spring balance as you're pulling up. The bobbin thread tension on a standard top loading machine can be adjusted on this screw just here. It's probably best not to adjust it unless you're quite confident that you know what you're doing. With the thread placed in the bobbin case, the thread tension should be set so the bobbin case can just about support its own weight. If you've got a spring balance, then you could set the bobbin tension to around 12 to 15 grams, but not much more or less than that. That should give you a good thread tension on your standard sort of top loading machine. Another thing to check on your sewing machine is the timing. So if you find that the machine is skipping or missing stitches and you've put a new needle on, you know you're using the right type of thread, you know you're using the right type of needle, and it's still missing stitches, the chances are the machine's out of time. I'm not going to tell you how to fix that, but I can show you how to check it. So as the needle comes down, the tip of the hook just here starts to come around as the needle starts to come up. So the idea is that the tip of the hook catches the thread just above the eye of the needle and then brings the thread all the way around. So we've got the machine set on zigzag, so with the needle on the right hand side we know it's going to catch the thread off the eye of the needle. So the needle's now jumped over to the left, the tip of the hook here is coming around, the needle started rising now, and the tip of the hook is just above the eye of the needle, and that's where it needs to be. If the tip of that hook was below the eye of that needle, it would miss the thread altogether, so the stitch wouldn't be formed. So we'll bring it back round again, needle jump to the right hand side, the tip of the hook here is coming round and it needs to catch the thread just above the eye of the needle, which it would do, and then back around again, and again it would catch the thread off the eye of the needle. We'll thread the machine up so you can actually see that working. Okay, so the machine's threaded up now, needle comes down, tip of the hook comes round, catches the thread on the back of the needle just above the eye, brings it around. If the bobbin case was in the machine now with a bobbin in with thread on it, then it would trap the bobbin thread just about now. So needle's now jumped to the right hand side, tip of the hook grabs the thread and brings it around. So we know that that is functioning correct. So we've only shown you the basics here today to get you out of your average sort of problem that you might have with your sewing machine. The idea isn't really to show you how to repair sewing machines, it's just simply to show you how to get out of a basic problem. There's no substitute for taking your sewing machine to a shop where they really know how to repair them properly and service them properly. So if you're having some thread tension problems, you know how to check it. If you're missing stitches, you know how to check it. And if you feel that you really should give your machine an oil, then you know where to oil the basic parts of the sewing machine. You have to be careful oiling electronic machines, because if you get a drop of oil in the wrong place and it touches a circuit board, you could potentially give yourself a real problem. So don't go mad, but if you really feel that you need to give your machine a check over, then you've got the basic know-how now.